Okay, I don't really know how to even start this video because I know I have some really big news to say, and I feel like I shouldn't beat around the bush, but I'm so excited. But we've all got a light to shine, and this is how I'm shining mine.
Get ready, I can see me.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry, I'm just gonna adjust the lens there, but I have some big news to share. About a week and a half ago, Kevin, my boyfriend, it's not my boyfriend anymore because Kevin asked me to marry him, and I said yes, and it's very exciting. It's all kind of just settling in right now. So we have a ton of video and this like drone footage and behind the scenes stuff that I have to share with you. So why don't I just show you how the proposal went down and what it looked like, and then I will explain all the details and what led up to it. So here's the proposal, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Toothpaste all over my lips. I don't know how a girl is marrying me, but she is, or hopefully. That's, I guess, the why this video is being made. So it's I'm about to propose to Danielle today. Danielle, I'm proposing to you today. You just don't know it yet. Let's do this then. Let's continue this adventure. Hopefully you say yes. Alright, Danielle, I love you.
What are we about to do?
So we're on the roof right now of King's headquarters, planning out the proposal tonight. It's not a TV show. I know it sounds like it, but tonight I'm proposing to Danielle, my girlfriend. We are out here trying to figure out what looks best.
Yes! Look at this view though!
Let's go.
Without eating, cause it ain't enough for two, and it's all for you, it's all for you.
Alright, so the time is getting closer. I am literally on my way to go pick up Danielle, and then it's go time.
Days without water along the sun-soaked road. We crossed over borders to get where we are, and it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. Nights without sleeping, cause you fear the night. And days without eating, cause it ain't enough for two, and it's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. I did it all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you.
Okay, so now that you've seen the proposal and I said yes, it's all great, happy news, woohoo, Dee's getting married. I'll tell you a bit about what went into it and everything that happened. So basically what happened was about a month ago, I went to visit his family for the first time, got to be in the city that he grew up in, got to meet his parents, got to meet his aunts and uncles and his cousins, and that was really great just to kind of see what his family life is like, you know, because some people can be different when they're with you versus when they're with their family, so it's good to see that. And then he came back to Vancouver and he met my family and vice versa, and same thing, and that really like solidified a lot of stuff for us, especially just because we do long distance. And if you haven't seen some of our other videos on that, I'll just link them here. But long distance dating is a bit challenging because a lot of the things like meeting your family or seeing how you act in different situations and scenarios, it doesn't happen as easily. It takes a lot more effort to make happen and can usually take a while. So for us, it had been, we'd been dating for just over 1.5 years before we all got to kind of meet each other's family and just really see each other in that those environments. And so that happened, and then I went off to compete at the Commonwealth Games, and then he went to the jeweler and started working with a jeweler to make this ring and stuff. And so he worked with I think it was Alson's Alson's jeweler, and he worked with this guy named Jesse. Jesse was super cool. I eventually got to meet him. Jesse, you did a great job. I can't stop looking at it. So great job. Thank you for helping Kevin. And so he worked with them, and then he got the ring, and then I went to Cleveland. I had this trip planned to Cleveland for the last few months, and something about long distance dating is a lot of you guys asked me, did I know that it was coming? Did I expect it? Was I prepared for it? So the thing with long distance is that when you are approaching marriage and you kind of know that it's coming, you have a pretty good idea like that it's gonna happen. And so for us, like I had this Cleveland trip booked, and I was 95% sure I was gonna get engaged this trip. I didn't know what day, I didn't know when, I didn't know how. I told him I wanted to be surprised, but I kind of just had this suspicion that it was gonna happen that trip, and it did. So I was going into it thinking I was gonna get engaged, but I was also fine if I didn't. So what happened was I arrived in Cleveland, and before arriving, we had made plans to get our photos taken by his friend Allie. Allie, you're amazing. She's gonna come up again in a little bit. But we had photos planned with her because when you're dating long distance, you don't really have many opportunities for pictures. And since we're always like hanging out together and we don't usually have people to take photos of us, we were like, hey, like I would really like to have photos with you. So let's make that happen. So we had that plan. And in the back of my head, I was thinking, if he's smart and he's a photographer as well, he's probably going to want photos of our engagement. And so maybe it's going to happen when we go take photos with Allie. And so I was kind of preparing for that. And then Friday comes. So I got engaged on a Saturday, August 13th, Saturday. Friday comes, the day before Saturday, obviously. And he was being, guys, so weird. Like, I was getting so frustrated with Kevin. Like, he was like, I don't even know how to describe it, but maybe this is normal for guys when they are about to pop the question and they're just super nervous and whatever. But he was being so, like, just non-committal, and I would ask him things. We were kind of talking about weddings, but then he was, like, not really being clear about stuff, and he was being really vague, and I was super confused, and I was getting really frustrated. And then at one point, he asked me, like, what my ring size was. And in my head, I was like, hey, if he's asking me my ring size, then he doesn't have a ring, so it's not going to happen. So, Danielle, just let it go. Don't worry about it. Like, it's fine. You can be a girlfriend for a little bit longer. And then we had plans to take photos with Allie on Sunday. So I thought if it was going to happen, it was going to happen Sunday. And then Saturday comes along, and I had made plans with my new friend, Diana. And Diana lives in Cleveland. She's super awesome. We're friends now, and I'm very happy about it. But I made plans to go with her for coffee. And so in my head, I thought I was being all independent and like, yeah, I don't need to just hang out with Kevin when I'm in Cleveland. I'm going to go make friends, and I'm going to go hang out with people. And so Diana and I had arranged to go for coffee. And then she suggested that we go Saturday morning. And I thought that would be great. And then I told Kevin, I was like, hey, so I'm going to be going for coffee with Diana on Saturday, so I can't hang out with you in the morning. And he's like, yeah, no, that's so great. But little did I know, and I come to find out later, is that Diana was actually in on it the whole time, and they used coffee with me as a way to get me away from Kevin so that Kevin could go to the proposal site and plan the proposal and how it would go down with our friend Allie. And so yeah, here I thought I was being all independent, but I guess not. But I mean, it all works out eventually. And then we hung out, and then she took me back to my Airbnb, and then later on in the evening, Kevin came to pick me up, and he had told me, he said, hey, I made us dinner reservations for Saturday night. And so I said, oh, that's great, that'll be fun. And I didn't really clue into that, like, that's super, how would I say, like, it wasn't surprising. Like, I didn't really read into that and think that it would be a proposal, because Kevin often makes dinner reservations when we go out to places, so it was really on brand for him. I didn't clue in that would be a proposal. And so I asked him what he was gonna wear, and he said, I'm gonna wear black, like, it's pretty casual, but you can do a little bit of both. So I said, oh, well, I brought this black dress, I might as well wear it, because oh well, I brought it. So I wore this dress, thank goodness I did, because it ended up being a little bit more than dinner. And then he came to pick me up, and he had brought me champagne and flowers, and I was like, oh, this is really sweet, like, this is nice. We don't really get to, like, date each other physically in person. Like, it's normally FaceTime calls, and you don't really give people flowers on FaceTime. And so it was just really special, and I was like, oh, he's being sweet. And then, okay, so I would be lying to you if I didn't say that I did think, I had the thought. I said, I wonder if we're gonna go for dinner and he's gonna propose. Like, the thought did come into my mind. Like, I'll be honest with you, but I didn't really think about it. I didn't dwell on that. I didn't let that thought really have much, like, authority and much weight in my head. So I thought about it, but not really. And then we're getting ready to go for dinner, and then Diana, who I went for coffee with, she texts Kevin, it's all part of the plan, and she says, hey, can you give me a call when you can? It's kind of urgent. So he said, hey, I'm just gonna call Diana. I said, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. He calls Diana, puts this girl on speakerphone, and she said, hey, I know you're with Danielle right now, and I know you guys have dinner plans, but Allie forgot the camera bag at the King's headquarters. King's headquarters, King's Church is their church, King's headquarters is their office, and it's this big warehouse building, and that's where everything happened, but we're gonna get there. Anyways, she said she forgot the camera bag, she couldn't go get it. Diana was at a party, she couldn't go get it. Kevin, can you go and get this camera bag? And he says, yeah, that's perfect. It's on the way to dinner reservations. We'll just leave now and we'll go get it. Because we had photos with Allie the next day, we kind of needed that. Church was the next day. It just made sense that we would go. So we said yes. So we hung up with the phone with her, and then we went to the office. And again, we get in the car, and I had this brief thought. I thought, it would be so funny if Diana was in on this, but I don't want to think like that. So I, again, put it out of my head, didn't really think much of it. And then we get to the King's headquarters. I had never been there. I didn't really know what the building looks like, but basically it's a warehouse that overlooks Cleveland and the city, and it's really pretty. And so we pull into the parking lot, and I see this guy on the roof, and he's like flying these drones. And I turned to Kevin and I said, Kevin, look, there's like some guy flying drones up there. And this guy, guys, I am marrying a smart man. Like, he was so quick on his toes. I don't know how he did it, and he just kept his composure, and he totally deflected my question, and he says, oh, like, I think that guy's probably up there for the Machine Gun Kelly concert, because, as it happened, Machine Gun Kelly was performing in Cleveland that night, and me being a little bit oblivious to everything, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. He shows me around, I'm looking around, just taking my time. And then he says, hey, do you want to go check out the roof? Because on the phone call, I don't think I mentioned this, Diana was the one that said, hey, if you want, because there's nobody at the office, you could take her up on the roof and you could show her the view. And so that thought was already in his head, in my head, all this stuff. And so he said, let's go up to the roof. And then it was this big ladder that goes up into this like hole that's on the ceiling. And so he went up first because I was in a dress, and so got to be respectful. And then I walked like up the ladder, and I remember like my head coming out of this like little hole in the ceiling, and I see Allie standing there with her camera, and I see this guy Steven there. Steven, you did an incredible job. He was playing guitar and he was singing. He's one of the worship leaders at his church. And then all of these petals, rose petals, and this big setup, and I see it, and the first thought that came to mind, I was like, oh, it's like happening now. And I started crying, and then I came up and stood beside him, and then I was like really emotional. I was crying, and he hugged me, and I was a bit speechless and lost for words. And for those of you who know it, that takes a lot to make me speechless. And yeah, we kind of stood there. Allie was taking pictures, and yeah, he said this really beautiful speech that I don't really remember because I was a bit zoned out and like just I don't know what happens to your brain, but it was a blur. Like, it was a bit of a blur. I don't know, for those of you who could, like, I don't know, like, if you guys can relate to that. But he said some really nice things, and then he asked me to marry him, and I said yes. Yeah, it was really special. Yeah, he did a great job. He checked all the boxes. It was really intentional. Like, he really, yeah, I don't know. I'm still kind of speechless about the whole thing. Yeah, it was just really special. I mean, it was like, I guess it's like a lot of girls' dreams to get married and to meet someone that loves them so fully and is so intentional and thoughtful. And Kevin is all of those things and a lot more. And he's a lot of things that I didn't know that I needed and I didn't know that I wanted in a guy. And God just really, like, went over and above with, like, bringing him into my life and this exciting chapter that we get to share together. And so it was just really special, and it was beautiful, and it was fun, and he got some photos, and it was private, and the ring is nice, like, like, oh, I love it. And so yeah, it was really nice. So Kevin, good job. Hooray! And then craziest part, guys, it's not even like the most wild part of this story yet. So we head out from the proposal and we head off to our dinner, and we get to our dinner reservations, and we're walking in, and our waitress says that, hey, some of your party has already arrived. I thought in my head, I bet that's some of his friends that are coming to surprise us, and it's going to be a little bit of like a dinner celebration that'll be fun. But it wasn't. So because we got engaged in Cleveland, I don't have family there, I don't have friends there, and, well, I'm making friends, but, like, my friends and stuff and my family aren't there, and so I kind of had put it out in my head that I would be able to celebrate with them, and that it would happen there, and that I would celebrate when I got home and later on. And so I was not expecting this surprise at all, but we walked up to the table, and I saw the first person I saw there was my dad, and then I saw his parents, and I saw my mom there, and he had surprised me with both sets of our parents there to celebrate our engagement, and I lost it. I, like, bawled my eyes out. I was so, like, overwhelmed and just surprised, and just, I felt so loved, and it was just really, really, really special to have my mom and dad there and to share it with his parents as well, as we're gonna be merging our two families together, and just yeah. So I would say that was probably the bigger surprise than actually getting proposed to, because I was expecting it to happen, but I was not expecting my family to be there. And so that was very special for me. And then a few days, that was really special for me. And then over the next few days, we just got to spend time all together and hang out and talk about weddings, talk about life, just really get to know each other. And it was just really special. It was a beautiful week, and it was just, yeah, it was just really nice. And then I left Cleveland and flew down to Dallas and met up with my best friend and new maid of honor, Morgan. You guys know who Morgan is. And we drove to Louisiana to the LO Sister Conference and basically got to celebrate my engagement with 3,000 girls who were in an arena worshiping Jesus. I got to be around friends. I got to be around girls that I've known online for like the last year and a half, got to meet them in person. I got to just be immersed in the Word and in the presence of God, and it was just such an incredible way to celebrate this new season of my life. And it's just, I don't know, it's like, it's, how would I say that? It's one thing to like, I think what I would say is it's one thing to prepare for an engagement in your mind and to, like, you're dating someone and you always have these hopes and you have these dreams, or even when you're single and you're thinking about what that's going to be like, but nothing really prepares you for when it actually happens. And just the joy that comes with it, and just the I don't know, the certainty of marriage for me was a really big thing. And I had told Kevin, like, when he gave me this ring, like, I felt confident in my relationship with him. Like, I felt like we were we were good, and we had talked about marriage a lot, especially being Christians. Like we went into our date, like we started dating on the basis that like we would get married, and so marriage wasn't a topic that we avoided. We kind of knew that this is where we were heading. Like I knew where his feelings were, he knew where mine were. Like we were very we communicated well in that way. But there's just like, even though we did all of that, there's something so powerful about like putting a ring on it and just really like solidifying that and really saying like, I'm choosing you to do life with, I'm choosing to love you, I'm choosing to serve you, I'm choosing to honor you, and you're mine and I'm yours, and all of that. And that has really been hitting me a lot in this last weekend a bit, is just how weighty the decision of marriage is, and how God loves marriage, and how God has set that for a purpose, and how it says in the Bible that two are greater than one, and how my life and his life are going to become one, and we're going to be this powerful force in the kingdom. We're going to get to do things together, we're going to get to make decisions together, to live together, and to fight for each other, and to fight for what's right, and to love our community well, and to love each other, and to point people to Jesus. And we just get to do that together now, and that's something that's really powerful and really exciting, and I'm very excited to do that, and to get married, and to plan this wedding and all that stuff that comes with that. So yeah, that's basically the engagement story. I knew it was coming. I didn't know that it was going to happen on the day. I was very surprised. I felt very loved. He did a great job. I love Kevin. Kevin loves me. We're getting married, and it's going to be it's gonna be so good. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see some more wedding content over this next year, and just everything about the planning process, and also navigating making a wedding for people with dwarfism and the different adaptions that I'm realizing we're gonna have to make, let me know in the comments if you want to see more stuff like that, because I will be documenting this, and I would love to share this journey with all of you. And so again, thank you so much for all your support, all your love. It's going to be a very exciting year. It's going to be a busy year, but it's going to be really fun. And I read this quote. We actually read this quote the morning after we got engaged. And it says that to love God intensely, and everything else will fall into place. So if I'm going to encourage you with anything, love God intensely, and the rest will fall into place. And so that's what I'm going to be doing this year. Hope you choose to do the same, and keep shining your lights, and it's going to be a pretty bright year. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.